Jim Jones was not only deceived, it took place in the most visible manner imaginable in the midst of a courtroom. He initially appeared peaceful, almost unsettlingly so, as if nothing could disturb him. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the screen in a matter of seconds as Cameron gave the court clerk a USB. The room fell silent in shock at what came next. In the footage, Chrissy was seen entering a hotel with another man while sporting heels and a hoodie. She laughed, grinned, and spoke in a voice that seemed to stop time. Let him remain ignorant. Jim did not flinch or speak, just gazed straight ahead. Everything he held dear seemed to be disintegrating in front of him. The courtroom fell silent. The only sound you could hear was people breathing. Mama Jones was immobile as she sat there. Leaning back in his chair, Cameron appeared almost thrilled, as though he had been anticipating this for years. The entire thing didn't seem haphazard. It appeared to be well planned. Everyone started to wonder if the relationship was based only on falsehoods or if it had ever been genuine. Everything was altered by just one USB. Jim trembled and fell in his chair. Every detail was visible in the crystal-clear footage. A timestamp outside the Moran Hotel in Soho that read 9:13 p.m. nervously. Chrissy pulled up her hoodie and looked about. It was Reggie, not Jim, that she encountered inside. Fans had been whispering rumors for months, but suddenly there was concrete evidence. Chrissy had consistently maintained that Reggie was merely a buddy. However, the video presented an entirely different narrative. The atmosphere in the room changed as Cameron formally turned over the USB to the court. Jim stood up a little, as if he had anticipated what would happen. However, it was an entirely other sensation to watch it happen on film. Jim still thinks I'm at my cousin's. Chrissy murmured into her phone as she entered the hotel room and glanced back over her shoulder in the video. He's really stupid. That line was a powerful punch. Jim's face was expressionless as Cameron leaned back and grinned. His face was fixed in shock. Abruptly, he gripped his chest and fell to the ground. Immediately, chaos broke out. People yelled over each other as security hurried in, followed by EMTs. Cameron stayed composed, watching everything, but Chrissy froze, seemingly anticipating the response. And that was just the initial 37 seconds. The situation became more intense in the remaining clip. There were 2 wine glasses on a table inside. Laughter flooded the room as gentle music played in the background. Chrissy's voice was distinct. I can finally breathe here. I don't feel stuck in someone else's life when I'm with you. Jim had frequently referred to Chrissy as his entire universe, his air, his everything, so the comments were particularly painful. The treachery was made much more agonizing when she acknowledged that she felt suffocated. Chrissy was aware of the camera, according to later reports. Reggie's acquaintance who had taken the video was the owner of the hotel suite, but Chrissy never thought Cameron would see the footage. Some believe Cameron had an inside link, while others assume Reggie gave it up after Chrissy stopped answering him. In any case, Cameron now possessed the last proven, questionable, unambiguous evidence that could not be refuted. Cameron utilized the USB as part of a defamation countersuit, according to court records. He asserted that Jim had misrepresented him in a 2022 VH1 meeting. However, everyone who was watching could see that this went beyond legal issues. This was a private matter. Cameron wanted Jim to experience the same heartache that he had. To exacerbate the situation, he made sure Mama Jones was there when it was revealed. She jumped to her feet as Jim fell, screaming at Chrissy, "You lied to my son." She had to be restrained by security. She was heard yelling into her phone outside the courtroom. I told Jim she'd destroy him. The trial was put on hold by the court for an hour, while Jim's condition was assessed by the medics. Fortunately, it was merely shock rather than a heart attack. However, the story quickly gained popularity online. Social internet was inundated with memes that highlighted the dramatic incident and made fun of Jim. In one, Cameron was seen holding the USB with pride like a trophy, while in another, his face was pasted onto hotel bedding with a statement about folding. People were unable to quit discussing it. It became evident, as the video went on, that this was more than simply a cheating scandal. It alluded to something far more significant. One line in the video drew the attention of the district attorney, who asked for a halt. Reggie helped me clean that mess up, Chrissy was heard saying. I explained that it was a donation. This statement raised the possibility that she was hiding something, given she was already being investigated for charity fraud. What had begun as a personal betrayal may now have legal repercussions. Cameron didn't end there. He calmly turned to face Jim during a courtroom break and remarked, "I told you she wasn't loyal. You now possess what you require to proceed." Jim just stared straight ahead without saying anything. Chrissy said something to her attorney in a whisper. She allegedly said, "Say I was drunk," according to a courtroom lip reader. The video has been taken out of context. However, the evidence could not be avoided. The audio was flawless, the video was very clear, and everything was verified from several perspectives. The story could not be twisted. Another shocking revelation was made by Cameron's attorney when the trial restarted. He declared, "We have more footage and an audio file." There was silence in the room. Chrissy's face was devoid of color. Jim did not move. Once more, Mama Jones needed to be controlled. When questioned about the new file, the attorney clarified that it was a voicemail Chrissy had left for Mona Scott 3 weeks prior to the hotel incident. The courtroom was filled with the sound of the voicemail. "Mona, the season will be wrecked if Jim finds out. Cameron is also unable to know. Please take care of that hotel video for me." According to Reggie, it was removed. "You assured me." The response came right away. This was more than just proof of dishonesty. It demonstrated that Chrissy was aware that she had been discovered and made a concerted effort to remove the evidence. It was too late when Chrissy's attorney insisted on stopping the audio. The harm had already been done. Even Cameron, who had grinned before, suddenly had a solemn expression. The voicemail exposed deceit, premeditation, and other people's potential involvement in order to conceal the truth. Lies, cover-ups, and possible evidence tampering were all part of the scandal, which was obviously bigger than anyone had anticipated. Jim slowly raised his head, looking pallid and vacant. There was nothing left when he looked into Chrissy's eyes. Just numbness, no love, no rage. The lady he had loved and supported in the past suddenly appeared to be a total stranger. Then a different video started. This one was shot months ago by a member of the production crew behind the scenes of Love and Hip Hop New York. It showed Chrissy and Yandi taking a rest. They were both unaware that they were being filmed. "I'm only here because I promised Mona I'd do one more season," Chrissy said. "I'm done faking after this." Yandandi appeared perplexed. "What are you pretending?" she inquired. Chrissy acknowledged with a shrug that Jim and I continued to be together. "We're done. I simply haven't stated it aloud yet." Everything changed after that brief conversation. Chrissy's admirers suddenly turned against her. Her name began to trend online with hashtags like Setup Queen and Judas in a matter of hours. Chaos broke out outside the courthouse in the meantime. Enraged and devastated, Mama Jones went down the hallway. Pushing past security and yelling at the top of her lungs, "That woman ruined my son's life. I want VH1 to burn with her because she is a serpent." Every moment was filmed by cameras, and within minutes, videos of her fury appeared on social media. One TikTok even combined footage from the hotel with her breakdown, labeling it, "When your mom was right all along." The situation inside continued to deteriorate. Cameron's attorney got up while carrying printed emails and screenshots as another audio tape began to play. He gave them to the judge and indicated that they demonstrated Chrissy's request to have a video removed from a private server associated with Mona Scott's production company. A concerned man in a gray suit stated that publishing some of the material could break confidentiality agreements because it had been taken illegally. The network was in a panic. The production staff was humiliated, the couple's public image was ruined, and the plot of the show was thrown into disarray by Cameron's testimony. However, the judge was not concerned with safeguarding television agreements. He questioned Chrissy about if she had attempted to influence the story by manipulating the media. The judge demanded that she answer despite her attorney's objections. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," Chrissy whispered softly, her voice cracking. "I felt afraid." Whispers filled the courtroom. "What are you afraid of?" Seeing her world fall apart in front of everyone, losing her fame, and being exposed? Whatever she intended, it was no longer relevant. The harm had already been done. Then there was another turn of events. Cameron's attorney disclosed that they had taken text messages from Reggie's burner phone, the man in the hotel video. "She played me too," was one message sent to a pal. Declared that she would abandon him. "Cameron has the upper hand, and I am now the villain. I ought to have posted the remaining videos. She pleaded with me not to." The existence of more videos was verified by that one text, a video that had not yet been aired. Jim exited the courthouse by himself at the conclusion of the day. There was just him broken, deceived, and fully exposed without Chrissy at his side, cameras protecting him, or Mona Scott handling the mayhem. "Do you think Jim deserved this?" a reporter yelled. "No, but sometimes the truth doesn't care who it hurts," Cameron said, calmly staring into the camera. After that, he left the mayhem in his wake. Clips from the courtroom were all over the internet the following morning. Videos containing heartbreaking texts, emotive sound effects, and slow music were modified by users. Jim's shocked look became widespread as a meme. Everyone agreed in the thousands of posts that surfaced, some of which were mocking, and some of which were sympathetic. Chrissy's scheme had failed. As they rewatched previous shows and interviews, fans noticed warning indications of peril that they had previously overlooked. An old video of Mama Jones reappeared and gained widespread attention. "You don't love my son? You love the camera," she said to Chrissy. Marcus, Chrissy's former partner, also came out and accused her of manipulating Jim for publicity. The moniker Chrissy, the architect, which made fun of her for creating her own demise, quickly gained popularity. By sharing a brief preview with the title "You Saw the Courtroom," Cameron stoked the flames. View the complete story now. It received 5 million views in a matter of hours. Visibly unhappy, Mama Jones went live once more and reminded everyone that her son had ignored her warnings. Chrissy said nothing. She didn't make any posts, declarations, or defenses, but her quiet just served to intensify the public's criticism. There were further leaks after that. Evidence that Chrissy may have manufactured some of her relationship problems to increase. Viewership was disclosed by singer Olivia Longo. The videos had already been downloaded and disseminated on every platform when VH1 attempted to stop them. The narrative was unstoppable. Cameron said that he was now the owner of the story and that he had not yet completed it. Jim eventually moved away from the limelight to concentrate on his mental well-being. Lawsuits accumulated, the show was canceled, and reputations were ruined. What had begun as a reality TV love story turned into one of the biggest scandals in the history of hip-hop television. One thing was evident, even as the dust fell. This was not the end of the story. The events are still happening, so subscribe to remain informed.